I think a lot of people are in your shoes and wanting to scale a business or grow a business, have a team under them. So what would be a piece of advice you'd give to them?
I think the biggest thing is to be a person, like a human with your employees. I think that's a big one. So it's just something that I learned, like, working with other people.
How did you get started? Like, what really drew you to the real estate industry? Like, how did that journey come about?
Yeah, so I honestly didn't even think about real estate to begin with. So I moved here back in...
What kind of made you transition to the real estate side?
Yeah, so I've always had my real estate license, but I feel like I made a really big brand in terms of the hard money.
Yeah.
I was just so excited about it, and I loved it. And
welcome back to this episode of Simple Chat. I'm your host, the CEO and founder of Simplending Financial, and today we have a very special guest, Sydney. Thank you for being here.
Of course.
Do you mind introducing yourself to our audience?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Sydney Peterson. So I do a couple things in real estate. I am a real estate agent. I also invest in real estate, so doing flips myself as well. Then I also do some stuff on the hard money side as well too. So we connect in that standpoint.
Yes, we do. Yeah. The hard money girl on Instagram.
That is right. Yes.
Love it. So how did you get started? Like, what really drew you to the real estate industry? Like, how did that journey come about?
Yeah, so I honestly didn't even think about real estate to begin with. So I moved here back in 2022. This is as soon as I turned 18, I booked a one-way plane ticket and I flew here. And then it was definitely a tough journey at first. Finding an apartment and finding a car at 18 with no credit. So once I finally got all that figured out, I was working at a restaurant. I was working at a restaurant and then a front desk job in the daytime. And I was like, I moved here for a reason. I moved here to accomplish my goals and my vision, but that's just not going to happen with the jobs that I was doing. So I had somebody tell me, you should just go be a real estate agent. I was like, okay. I mean, I guess I'm good at sales, so I'll try it. Yeah, so I got my real estate license, and after that, I was still working in restaurants and everything to still pay my bills. So it ended up I wasn't closing anything on the realtor side because you need to be full-time in it, right, to even make a difference. So I met my mentor now, and he was like, I met him at a networking event, and he was like, if you quit all your jobs and you come work for me, I'll teach you about the investment side and wholesale. And I was like, okay. So I had 11 cents of income. I remember it. I only had 11 cents. I remember it today. And then I quit all my jobs, and I was like, I took that faith, and then I worked for him, and I learned. That's how I learned everything about the investment side. And then also, that's when I went into the hard money space as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you seem to be a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
So where would you say is your energy right now? And I know you were doing a lot of hard money, private money. So what kind of made you transition to the real estate side?
Yes, I've always had my real estate license, but I feel like I made a really big brand in terms of the hard money. Yeah. I was just so excited about it, and I loved it, and I was just still the case. I still love it, right? But I also, realized you can't do everything all at once, so that's why right now I'm building a team. So I'm building an acquisition team and also a realtor team too, so that way I can still do everything, but also be good at what I do, right, and leverage all that stuff out. So I still focus on everything. I think the main thing I'm focusing on right now is just the acquisition and building up the realtor team as well, while also doing hard money and helping funding a lot of our our friends and a lot of our investors that we already know. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing right now.
You're creating your little ecosystem of everything, so you can help one client in multiple ways.
That's the thing. It's
really.
One-stop shop, but I also understand that you can't be good at everything. So I'm being very stern about. When I hire people, if you're on the acquisition side, you cannot be a realtor too. Yeah. Or if a client comes in, it needs to be sent over to the retail side, not the acquisition side, because I feel like everybody does that. They mix the two, and it gets really tough and unethical, and there's a lot of gray areas that you cross. And you can't be good at everything.
So I think a lot of people are in your shoes and wanting to scale a business or grow a business, have a team under them. So what would be a piece of advice you'd give to them?
I think the biggest thing is to be a person, a human with your employees. I think that's a big one. So it's just something that I learned, working with other people in their acquisition company and whatnot. Is I feel like as a female, I have that emotional, I have a lot of emotions too. So I feel like I do a really good job connecting with everybody too. I feel like that's a really important part. is real estate's hard. You know, no matter what industry, no matter what side of the industry you're in, it's tough. And there's so many days you're going to think about quitting, and you're not going to want to keep going, and your employees are going to feel that way too. I think another thing too is something I saw as well is you have to continue to work as hard as you did when you first started, even when you had people, because once they see that you believe in the vision more than they do, then they're going to start believing in that vision too.
Yeah,
right?
I love that. That's very true. So if you can talk to Sydney, who's 18, 11 cents in the bank, what would you tell her?
That's a good question. I would tell her to believe in herself and to not let people push her around. I was very nice.
Love that.
I was very, very nice then. Very nice. And I let people push me on. And I always say, like, even now, I always say, like, being a female in the investing side, I feel like is a disadvantage. Being a female on the realtor side is an advantage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little more on that?
Yeah, I actually just came to that conclusion. But no, I think that being a realtor, like being a pretty face, people want to work with you, people want to talk to pretty women, and you know, if you're good at your job, like it all comes together, and you can really blow up on the social media side and get more clients. I feel like on the investing side, it's mainly men dominated. It's really hard to gain somebody's respect, especially a man, when you're talking about like investing, unless you have the knowledge to back it up. You can't just be a pretty face and then nobody's gonna respect you.
You have to know your numbers too.
And I see it too when people start talking to me and they don't know me. I feel like I see it, you know?
Of course.
Yeah. So I think it's a big thing is that as a female, you have to overcompensate with a lot of knowledge to get people to end up respecting you. You know, use bigger words, be more concise about what you're talking about as well, and that respect is gonna come once they see like what you're doing. For sure. But that was a big thing that I kind of like realized too. And I'm telling the people that the girl I just brought on, I told her, I was like, listen, like men are closers, like they're so much better at closing. But as a woman, you can overcompensate with words and knowledge, and if you know what you're talking about, like that's gonna go a long way. Yeah, right?
I think women have the advantage in the sense of we're more trustworthy up front and like vulnerable and empaths, so we are able to connect with people and not be so transactional.
Yeah.
So what was one of, you know, I'm sure you've gone through many challenges with either hiring or even working for people, but can you speak on any like real challenge or red flags you've seen on whether it be on investments you're buying or people in the industry so other people can avoid?
Yes. So I think the biggest thing in the investing is that if you're new in the investment world and you don't know how to do a flip, wholesalers. And be very, very careful. Yeah. You know, and at the end of the day, it's what I always say to people is I always say, get somebody's input on the deal that's not making money on it. Yes. Because they have to give you the honest answer. They get no benefit of lying to you and telling you it's a good deal, right? 1,000,000%. So especially like even listen to your lender. I said it a lot too. There's a lot of people that maybe we're lent to and we're saying, no, we're not going to lend to this deal because it's a bad deal. They're going to do it. Maybe they're making money.
And it's for your protection too. Like if we don't want to lend on it, you might not want to invest in that.
I agree, because the reason we're saying no. Yes. Yeah, because all of our money is in it, right? So, no, I agree with that too, but I think that's a big thing is when you're working with wholesalers or somebody that they're not representing you, like they're not acting in your best interest, they're making money off a transaction and most likely a large amount. So they have every right inside themselves to push that deal forward, no matter what numbers they say. So always do your own due diligence. You know, get a trusted contractor. That's another thing, contractors. Contractors, I've seen so many things go south. So at the end of the day, I think finding a good contractor, making sure they do good work, walking their properties first. And if it is, even if they charge you a little bit higher than the cheaper people, if you know it's going to be good work, I'd run with it.
Love that. Yeah. So most lenders too only like to have a percentage of the assignment fee covered, and there was one transaction I felt so bad for this guy, but he was like at the closing table and I was looking over the numbers and he was so curious. He's like, how can I be bringing this much cash to close? And then when I was looking at the numbers, the purchase was like $140, but like half of it was an assignment fee. And as a lender, we're only covering like 20% of an assignment fee. It was just like, yeah, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're buying it for $140, but your wholesaler is making $60K off of it. So the whole time the wholesaler was like in his ear trying to get him to close. And then once I, told him the facts, he actually ended up walking. So I kind of feel bad because I ruined the deal for the wholesaler, but same for us. But at the same time, you want to do right by people, and then it comes back to you.
I think it's a big thing, especially in the investing world too, is what I'm trying to create with like the acquisition company that I'm making. And it's more be better. I feel like I was really discouraged about finding my purpose right now. Like I was like, oh, what am I doing that's helping people? Like I always loved like the wholesale side and the acquisition side, but I'm like, oh, am I like really helping people? You know? And then I talked to a friend, and he was like, you need to just think about it. You need to do better than everybody else. Everybody else you meet that you think is being, dishonest and not acting with integrity, like do better than them and like have that as your mission statement. And so that's what I'm really trying to do.
Love that. So what is the ultimate vision for you? I know you have a lot of plans. What does the future look like for Sydney?
Yeah, so the main thing that not really the end goal. I really want to learn how to scale businesses. That's a big thing. I feel like I also like flipping houses, but I really want to get into like the business side of things. Yeah. Like leadership,
building systems.
Yeah, building systems and selling it. So really right now I'm focusing on building, again, like the realtor team, acquisition team, but it's all under one umbrella, right? So basically we're going to be a one-stop shop. So we'll have like the private lending for flips, acquisition side, realtor side, and eventually like be a broker and broker out, traditional financing and whatnot. But have all those as separate groups and under separate leadership, so that makes sense.
Very cool.
So not everybody's, doing everything at once.
Yeah. So where can our audience find you and do business with you?
Instagram. It's a big one. But no, call, text. My number is 919-402-3160. So if you guys want to call or text me, I have my phone on me 24/7. So
love it. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Simple Chat. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the video with a friend.